Financial support for the production of Issues in Education is provided by the Florida State University License Plate. Your FSU license plate supports scholarships for students who enrich and contribute to our communities. Special programs, gift certificates, and rebates for first-time buyers online at fsu.edu/mytag.
Coming up today on Issues in Education, learning is a lifelong skill. How providing educational opportunities for people over 50 is a growing focus on university campuses. Welcome to Issues in Education. I'm Suzanne Smith, alongside my co-host, the Florida State University President, Dr. Eric Barron. A new study recently listed Tallahassee as the top destination for baby boomers looking for a place to retire. One of the factors retirees tended to rank high on their list of requirements, college towns, because of the educational opportunities available to them. At Florida State University, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, also known as OLLI, focuses on classes for those over 50. Recently, they received an endowment for $1 million to build on their current successes. Joining us to talk about the program are OLLI member Wade Birch and OLLI past president Susan Yelton. Thank you both for joining us.
So how is it that OLLI got started?
OLLI got started with 7 people who really were committed to doing something on campus here about lifelong learning about 20 years ago. And they had someone who shepherded the program along for most of those years, Susan Yelton. We were very fortunate that Susan was committed to it. And we had, the program met in different places. We were in the old Center for Professional Development. We've met at the Res. And it really wasn't until relatively recently that we found our home at the Pepper Center, which has been wonderful for us. But 20 years ago, we're actually in our 21st year now.
Now, how did both of you get involved in it?
But that's what we were talking about when we were sitting out outside there. Want to go first, and then I'll go?
Sure.
Same story.
I retired here some 11 years ago, and came back mostly because I love FSU and I like the geographic area, and I loved the college football, and so I returned and saw an ad in the paper, a little ad on the FSU Academy, and I didn't know anybody, but I went down there and took the classes, and the content was just excellent, and I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah. My story is similar to Wade's, and that's what we were comparing out there. I mean, I lived in Tallahassee a long time, both worked here and have my degrees from here. But we moved away. We moved away and we were gone 15 years and tried retirement on a resort community outside of Atlanta. And after 3 years, my husband says, "You're miserable. What do you miss?" And it was really missing a college town. There was a place where I could experience both lifelong learning as well as just have the camaraderie of a college town. It's something different about a college town. And having lived here before, it was natural for us to come home again. And so we came back here in '03. And like Wade, I saw an ad in the paper. I was looking, I missed my book club. I missed my book club when we lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I was participated in the university program there. So it was just fortuitous that the ads were in the paper. And so I started, I guess, in January '04. I've been a member since January '04.
So what types of classes does OLLI offer?
A lot of wonderful classes. I guess, I don't know if your interest is the same as mine, but I tend to take the ones that are more in the focus of the humanities and history. But we're now offering 20 classes. When I started, we only had six a semester. We have 3 semesters. We have 2 6-week semesters and one semester in May. That's our Maymester that we'll probably talk about later.
And the 6-week sessions are in fall, and then there's one in the spring. So.
So we have everything from music to just trying to think of last semester. What did you take last semester?
Well, I took Optimal Aging, taught by Ken Brummel-Smith from the medical school. It was excellent.
Wonderful.
And also took one on the Civil War reconstruction. I did history as an undergraduate major, but then spent my life in psychology, so now I've come back home. And I've taken classes like in the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, which were, the faculty was superb in the sense that we didn't talk about battles or all that kind of thing, but more the politics and the economics surrounding, the context of those wars and that, and it was really terrific. Also, another good one was Middle East geopolitics, taught by the geography department. That was just great.
So my thought is that you probably do this because you enjoy taking tests. Is that right?
Oh, no tests.
No,
no tests.
That's a difference that's wonderful.
No tests, no homework, stress-free.
Right, yeah. I have this graduate student mentality where I must take notes, and I take copious notes in that, but yeah, there are no exams to study for, which is great. The other thing that I really enjoy about the classes is, unlike when I was an undergraduate student and we didn't know really a lot about life, now you're with a group of people who have lived in different places in the world. They have different work experiences and challenge the professors like they probably don't get challenged ordinarily.
Well, and the professors have to know that all of you are there because you want to be there. You're not fulfilling any credit requirement. You're there because of the pure joy of learning something.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't text, right?
No.
No, we're not very good at texting.
At the end of classes, we clap, which I know the professors never get that. So that makes quite an impression.
There's more than just classes that the OLLI memberships do. So that you mentioned book clubs, and what are some of the other things that you do?
We just started a new group that I joined because we're going to take a trip to Chile in February, I think, February. One of the members has been teaching Spanish to high school students. She does this in her spare time. So we started a conversational Spanish club, and we meet at restaurants, and we can only speak Spanish. So we do a little bit of hand signaling and pointing, and I mean, I don't know what we're saying half the time, but we've just started that one. That's going to be a fun one. We've got book club. The Writers Group is a terrific group. The Writers Group is produced an anthology. They did self-publishing of the anthology. We've got the
Naturalist Society. Yeah.
And you've been in charge of the field trips now for how many years now? 2 years?
4, yeah.
Well, what kind of field trips do you do?
4 years?
Oh, the field trips are quite varied. I can remember ones like we saw cotton get ginned. We went up to Boston, Georgia to see that. We have done recently a walkthrough of the Tallahassee Democrat. We've gone to the Wolf Preserve out in the Panhandle of Florida, which is very popular. We've gone through the FSU baseball facilities. Just about anything you can think of, both educational and recreational, like we did kayaking on the Wississa River. And so it's just a wide variety of things. They are day trips. You wake up in your bed and you sleep that night in your bed. So it's one day, and they're usually low cost or no cost.
And I have you to thank for my passion now for the women's basketball team.
Oh, yeah, we did a walkthrough of their facilities. They live well.
So, tell me how you pick things. I mean, is this a case where a faculty member is volunteering? Do you know that your membership is interested in something and you go seek a course to be taught or seek a field trip? How is it that you end up with the set of offerings you do?
The classes, we poll our members. We really are a member-driven organization. We have over 100 of our members volunteers. Volunteering is a very important part of this program. And I guess in the last 6 months, we volunteered well over 3,000 hours towards the functioning of this program. And we poll our members for their interest in classes. And we're very appreciative of FSU helping us solicit requests for proposals from faculty. I think the provost has been wonderful in getting the word out to the faculty here. We also solicit requests for proposals for classes from FAMU, from TCC, and from North Florida College over in Madison Community College. And we kind of, you know, it almost becomes like a crossword puzzle when we get these requests to come in, and then we try to match the request with categories of programs. We try to always cover the history, the humanities, the sciences, and let's see, what would I have forgotten in there?
Music.
Music, always music. And recently the School of Medicine has been wonderful. They have donated their time to teach for us. Our faculty do get a stipend from us to pay for the teaching for us, but and then every semester is a little different. It's just, but the social part, we have committee chairs. We have over 20 committee members who chair a committee that enable us to function. We have a social committee. We have cultural committees. We have the chair of the book clubs, but there's 20 different actual freestanding committees that we fill those responsibilities every semester.
So how big is your membership?
Oh my. What was it when you started? What was it?
It was a couple of hundred now. It's what, up over 700? Yeah.
Good number. It's a good number.
And that the large number of active participants is one of the reasons you ended up getting the endowment. Isn't that correct? Or tell us a little bit about that.
That is correct. When Wade started and I started, it was about 150 members, and it stayed. We were called the Academy at FSU. We were called the Academy for years, and then about 3 years ago, we applied to the OSHA Foundation for a grant, for our first grant, and were awarded it. And we were still relatively small, and we knew that we needed to grow in terms of programs as well as in terms of membership in order to be eligible for a much larger contribution from them. And we changed our name. That was part of the process of receiving the grant, to change the name from the Academy to OSHA Foundation. And they asked of us a substantial increase in membership as well as volunteer hours and classes. So in about a year and a half, we exploded. We just truly exploded. I was trying to look at the numbers recently. We went from 300 to over 700 in about a year and a half.
That's quite a lot. The what's the new endowment money going to be used for?
Well,
you know better.
What would you like it to be used for?
It would be nice to be able to say we have $1 million to spend. We don't have. We have an endowed grant from the OSHA Foundation, so that we have the interest on $1 million. However, the interest on that will sustain us for years to come, and of course it will grow. It's at the foundation, the FSU Foundation, and as it grows, we'll be able to certainly expand our programs. But we hope that it'll provide some enrichment to our classes right now, and we really think we'll be able to really improve the quality of our programs, the different types of classes we have, the different faculty that we encourage to teach for us. And some fun things too.
So are you entirely self-supporting today?
Yes. Yes.
That must feel good as well.
It feels wonderful.
So, and there's more opportunity beyond the first million, is that true? It
is true, and it's just having completed this big leap forward. Wade and I were talking about it earlier. It was, wow, it was a long year during my presidency.
Yes.
But just having completed this huge growth in membership, as well as a huge increase in programs, because we need to match. I mean, if you increase membership, you need to have more programs for all these people who want to take classes. We have some real challenges ahead about space, about finding the space for all these classes, but we're going to have to grow in order for us to be eligible for the next grant. The next one is a $2 million endowment.
So good luck with that one.
That would be wonderful.
And this show is starting to air in May, and so in May you've got the Maymester beginning. The classes there start May 7th. How can people sign up or find out more about those classes? Where can they go to find that out?
Well, there are 3 ways of registering. I know that. One of them is by telephone.
Yes.
One is by computer, and I forget the third one.
Wade. You can, we've teased Wade about his, that we finally went online. we have been doing paper registration for 20 years, and in January we went online. And we said, Wade, would you please?
I was the guinea pig.
Yeah, will you please learn how to use the computer so that you can do this online registration?
No more paper.
No more paper, no more paper.
It's good. When do fall classes begin?
Fall classes will begin in October 1st, but prior to that we will have a showcase of classes.
And that's going to be September 11th.
That will be September 11th, where all our faculty give just a brief overview of the classes that they'll be teaching. And in fact, we're getting ready right now for our fall program.
One good additional thing we do too is have an orientation for the new members that is separate and try to meet their needs, you know, for information.
Well, I can tell you from looking at the set of classes, there are so many courses that look really interesting. It's a great program.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, we want to see it. In fact, it was a class that I took last semester, which is called Why We Laugh, taught by one of our PhD candidates here, and it was wonderful. It was just wonderful.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. We've been talking with Susan Yelton and Wade Birch about the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. For information on classes and activities or memberships, go to olli.fsu.edu. When we come back, Dr. Barron and I will talk one-on-one about more issues in education. Welcome back to Issues in Education. I'm Suzanne Smith, talking with Dr. Eric Barron, the president of the Florida State University. Dr. Barron, we've been talking about the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at FSU. Why is OLLI so important to the university?
Well, first of all, you have to think a university is all about education. Then, you know, if I think about it, if I could give a gift to any student that was graduating, I'd give them the gift of always wanting to be out there learning the next thing, and even having the tools to be able to do that. So here's OLLI now with a whole group growing, and their entire objective is lifelong learning. And they're looking at a breadth of courses, all sorts of exciting different events, and I just see their lives as being richer for it. And I know the faculty that teach the classes are richer for it. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, my father, after he retired and he was by himself, started to take classes in Connecticut in a similar kind of program and setting. And I know that his life was richer because of it, and I suspect lasted much longer because of it.
Everybody always talks about colleges, you know, they think about the students under the age of 25. Why is the being over 50 something that the universities want to make sure they target? Okay,
so I don't know whether the over 50 means anything. And again, we're all about education. But think of the classroom as a professor, as I was for so many years, in which everybody sitting in front of you wants to be there and is excited about the topic and pick the topic because of their interest. That's a completely different classroom setting, a completely different environment. And so I think it's enjoyable for the professor and really enjoyable for the participants.
Well, I understand you're a member as well. Have you had a chance to take any classes yet?
I have not. So this is what I do. I look at the list and I drool over it and wish that I could take them, and I know that there's nothing that's allowed to be regular on my schedule whatsoever, because every week is different, and different trips and different interruptions. And so I'm a member because I want to see that list, and I know eventually I'll retire and I'll take classes, and I might even offer to teach one of them one of these days.
The governor recently signed the state budget. How did FSU fare in that?
Well, the state budget is interesting. For the 6th straight year, we lost funding. This is the first time that basically what happened was our carry forward, which looks like we haven't spent it, even though almost all of it we really have, they swept those dollars with the viewpoint that if we were carrying over into the next year that many dollars, that we wouldn't miss it. Now, of course, we were doing that because we were being frugal and because we know budgets in the state have been tough, and so we wanted to make sure that no matter what happens, the quality at Florida State is preserved. So unfortunately, we lost $65 million in cash in one fell swoop, which we will not have come July 1. But I will tell you this, we are bending over backwards to make sure that the academic programs are not harmed in that process, and we're counting on the fact that the legislature will have us back where we belong next year, and we're going to have to work to do that.
The 50th anniversary of integration at FSU happened in April. There was a whole bunch of events that were planned for that. The first big one was the Hand in Hand Across Time. Tell us how that event went.
Well, I will tell you, I thought it was fantastic, and I just felt good about it the whole time. I was in fear all week long that not enough people would come, but somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people showed up. And the notion here was that we have a statue in the center of campus called Integration, first beauty queen, first graduate, first athlete, and these are the first, the people that really had to be the pioneers, that had to go through being by themselves as they opened doors for everybody else. And today we're a rich, diverse campus. The graduation rate is identical. It doesn't matter whether you're African American or Hispanic or Caucasian. We're a major producer of African American degrees. So we wanted to say this isn't a statue in the center of campus, this is the entire campus. So we passed medallions from the statue all the way to the edge of campus, from each person in the statue to the edge of campus, where you can find an obelisk that is marking the event. It was great.
Well, there were quite a few events planned for the event. Here's a look at some of the events that happened over those 3 days.
Lord, take my hand, bring me home through the night, through the dark.
I want to welcome all of you today to this 50th anniversary celebration of the integration of Florida State University. We're calling it Hand in Hand Across Time, a 1,500 person human chain divided into 3 branches, each extending from the hands of our 3 pioneers. We will pass 3 commemorative bronze medallions from the integration statue towards the 3 ends of campus.
It's an awe-inspiring, almost surreal experience for me to be honored and celebrated in the way that they're doing now. So many years after when we first came to Florida State University, who would ever have thought that it would come to this type of celebration of diversity? It's just a wonderful event.
You know, I feel so blessed that we are here today to celebrate something that was so drastic and so different, and that this university is embracing the change and having this celebration to say we must never forget. We would never forget, and when we do forget, you know, we slide backwards. And I think with this president really designing this celebration, he's saying to the world, this university embraces diversity. We're not all the way there, but we have the strength and we have the commitment to go there.
50 years ago, Florida State became an integrated university when the first black student enrolled in 1962. 3 years later, Tallahassee's own Fred Flowers became the first black athlete at FSU when he played on the freshman baseball team. Joined tonight by his grandson, Deshaun Daniels, Mr. Flowers is here today to throw out the first pitch in commemoration and celebration of his 50th anniversary of the integration of Florida State University athletics.
Hey, I got it, man. I got it, man. Thank you.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. It was a close call. I think it was a strike. To have the opportunity to throw out the first pitch for the #1 baseball team in the country is truly an honor and a privilege. That's quite humbling. All these years later, who would have thought that it would come to a celebration like this of diversity? And I think we see that on the athletic field today in the baseball game. So how far have we come? There's still much work to be done, but go Noles.
I'm coming to see Maya Angelou. I'm really excited to see her. She's coming out and she's just speaking to the FSU students, and I'm really excited to hear what she has to say.
The FSU line will be led in first, quickly followed by the general admission line. Thank you very much.
To have her come here just really gives a lot of credit to who we are as people.
When it looks like the sun was not shining low, God put a rainbow in the clouds.
Why was it so important for FSU to honor the integration anniversary?
Well, you know, I think if you look, if you remember, the integration of public universities was really a tough thing 50 years ago. And there was no violence at Florida State, and I think there were a lot of people here that worked hard to be welcoming, but you know that there were a lot of challenges. Listen to a student who says, okay, the doors were open, but I was expected to do my socializing at FAMU. And you realize what that was like. Now, okay, so there's one part of it that makes it worthwhile, but the second part of it is we've come so far. We really, and for somebody like me who was a student here 43 years ago, to come back and see how different this university is and how rich and diverse it is, that's worthy of celebration. And I think the third part is we don't want to forget, and we need to keep going. And there's always cases where there's bias. There's always that case where there are individuals that don't feel welcome. And so this is a reminder how far we've come, but we're not done yet.
And if people wanted to hear more about we had our last month's show was on the integration anniversary, so people can go to the website and see that with Dobby Flowers talking about some of her memories. And that was very, very interesting show that we had. That's our time for now. Please join us again next month for more Issues in Education. You can watch the premiere episode of Issues in Education the first Wednesday of every month at 7:30 p.m. That means you can see the next new episode on Wednesday, June 6th on WFSU-TV. Join us as we discuss the latest developments in higher education happening around the state and across the country. If you have questions that you would like us to address on this program, you can email us at issues@wfsu.org. Again, that's issues@wfsu.org. If you would like to see past episodes of Issues in Education, head to the President's website at president.fsu.edu. I'm Suzanne Smith with the Florida State University President, Dr. Eric Barron, for Issues in Education. We'll see you next time.
Financial support for the production of Issues in Education is provided by the Florida State University License Plate. Your FSU license plate supports scholarships for students who enrich and contribute to our communities. Special programs, gift certificates, and rebates for first-time buyers online at fsu.edu/mytag.